So what kind of blockers have you got in the way of your manifestation journey? Are you manifesting a specific person? They left you, they've gotten with a third party, they've moved away, there's been a long period of no contact. They told you that they didn't love you or didn't want to be with you. Does any of this resonate? Then perhaps my next client's success story is going to put a smile on your face, is going to help to motivate you who are going through similar circumstances. If you're wondering, how the hell is this going to turn around, or what's going on? I can't stop focusing on the obstacles. I can't help but wonder, how is this even going to work? Is this possible? Circumstances, I know circumstances don't matter, but maybe in my situation, the circumstances are an exception. Are you worried about any of this? Well, this particular client of mine had all of those obstacles in the way. And even in the face of all of that, plus debilitating mental health issues, mostly depression, despite all of that, he still managed to manifest his specific person back, and they continue to have a wonderful relationship to this day. So stay tuned, and I'm going to share his email with you all. First up, thank you very much for joining me. I'm Athena Raven. I'm a mental health and manifestation life coach, here to empower you, give you the strength, the tools, and the knowledge you need to manifest your dreams and desires effectively. If you do enjoy the content I put out, please do like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps to boost the algorithm, help this channel to grow, helps me to continue with my work. And I love and appreciate all of you for being here. Click that bell icon so you never miss a beat. And my books are still open for one-on-one coaching for those of you that need more specific support. Email is in the description box below. So as I mentioned previously, this particular situation, I thought it was quite wonderful. When I first met this client of mine, he was in such a state. He had been on the journey for a while. He had experienced other coaches. He had been watching loads of content. He was in a real state of depression, just like a lot of us tend to fall into: depression, despair, anxiety, especially when you've broken up from someone that you loved, that you really wanted to be be with. You thought you had a future with them, and they've turned around and basically told you everything that you didn't want to hear, reflected back to you everything that you were worrying about them leaving you, not loving you anymore. He experienced all of this, and he absolutely turned his world around. So it is possible, was possible for him, is possible for you. And I really hope that this will boost you guys who are going through a similar process. So without further delay, I'm going to read out his email to you now and share his success story and how he turned this situation around. So he starts off by saying, I'm sharing my success story in the hope it will inspire others who might be going through a similar predicament or are in a situation whereby they feel things are hopeless. I was that person when I first began my journey, and I cannot believe how much has changed in my life since then. For those of you who are worried about circumstances, I'm here to tell you that nothing is impossible. Although if you told me that when I first started my journey, which Athena did, I admit I had a hard time believing it. I was in a relationship with my specific person for about 3 years. The relationship broke down due to a lot of my insecurities. My self-esteem had hit rock bottom as the paranoia ate away at me. And I was so worried about her leaving me for someone else that I was constantly pushing her for validation that she loved me and that there was no one else. Eventually, it became too much for her. She would need space from me, and as she distanced herself, I did the typical thing of clinging on tighter than before. This, of course, only served to keep me in a lax state, and my SP started to reflect all my deepest fears and anxieties. I feared she was falling out of love with me, and she reflected this towards the end of our relationship, telling me, how could she love me when I don't even love myself? Painful words, but it was true. She left me, and I soon found out after our separation that there was a third party. She had also left the country, moving out of England to set up home in Ireland, which is where she was originally from. I was heartbroken and sank into a deep state of depression. I'd come across manifestation and law of attraction, law of assumption before, mostly the works of Abraham Hicks. I had coaching with a couple coaches I had seen on YouTube in desperation to turn my situation around, only to be left more disappointed as I was told to affirm for my situation and basically to ignore my circumstances. I felt blamed, and this was detrimental to my already low mental state. As the depression hit hard, I found the support useless in changing my mindset and felt like this was never going to turn around. A friend of mine recommended Athena to me as she had hypnotherapy with her and had achieved much success. As Athena dealt with mental health as well as manifestation, I felt I had nothing to lose. She helped me to overcome the depression with various techniques, breaking down my daily tasks so that I wouldn't feel overwhelmed and stay stuck in a rut. She set some challenges in order to turn my beliefs around and validated how I was feeling. For the first time in a long while, I felt understood. Hypnosis helped me to deal with my insecurities and traumas and to reframe my past. I had a turbulent childhood which resulted in my relationships always breaking down because of my fears around abandonment and not feeling good enough. Athena kept me on track regularly, and as the dark cloud of depression lifted bit by bit, I was able to see things more clearly. She gave me some good techniques to help me visualize what I wanted effectively. She made me believe anything was possible. It didn't matter that my SP was with someone else. It didn't matter that we were in no contact. It didn't matter that she moved back to Ireland and showed absolutely no interest in being with me again. I started to focus less on the obstacles and move my attention and focus onto me. We shifted my self-concept from someone who was weak and insecure to someone who knew what they wanted in life and felt less fearful of abandonment or rejection. We worked together a few months intensely, and I started to see changes in quick succession. I got a great promotion at my job with amazing benefits. I moved into my new home, my dream home, which was part of my new beginning, and I began to make plans for my new life with my SP, even though I had not heard from her at this point for well over a year. I continued on my self-growth and moved forward with my life. I continued the gym and joined a local football club to help me socialize more and reshape who I was. I continued to remain true to my manifestation goals, convinced they would happen. I went to bed as though my SP was with me. I would see my new home with pictures of us together, and I worked on my self-concept, continuing to better myself. Athena set me challenges anytime I felt myself fall again. Her perspectives helped to keep me focused when old thoughts would come back to haunt me. A few months after settling into my new place, I get a random call from a mobile I did not recognize. I know the code was Ireland, and I had suspicions it was my SP. I had missed the call initially and decided not to call back. A week later, I get another call, and this time I pick it up. It was my SP. She reflected all of my new beliefs, stating she missed me. She tried to move forward in her life, but she found everything still reminded her of me. She wanted to talk and said she would be visiting England for a few days. I agreed, and we ended up meeting. It was wonderful. She was happy to see me and impressed with the changes I made in my life. She apologized for the way it ended. The third-party relationship broke down as she was struggling to forget me. It was all music to my ears. She went back to Ireland and we continued to talk regularly. She would come to visit me and I would go to see her there. Where in the past this would have really affected my insecurities, this time around I was not worried. I saw what the law could do. I saw how my inner work had changed things. And most importantly, I knew my self-worth. We are to this day still together and in a great relationship. She has just recently moved in with me and we are starting to plan a future together. I want to thank Athena for her support and dedication to my cause. I couldn't have done it without her, and I know she had a lot to deal with, as when I was in my darkest time, I was not the easiest person to work with. But she believed in me, and eventually I was able to believe in myself. Nothing is out of your reach as long as you believe. And that's where he ends his email. So for those of you who are encountering the same sort of things, and I know that even in my first SP journey as well, I'd encountered a few of these obstacles like distance, third party. And it's very difficult for a lot of you. We tend to focus on the obstacles. I do it myself as well, of course. We all do. We're human at the end of the day. We're having this human experience. It is natural that we are going to be focused on everything on our 3D circumstances and worrying about how is this going to happen? When is this going to happen? But once you can detach from all of that, once you can be objective to it all, effectively apply positive meanings to the silence. Work on your mental well-being as well. It's truly important. The focus, as I've said before in my other videos, is always on you. It's not about getting SP back. We're not doing these techniques and these coaching sessions, and you're not watching all of this information and gathering all of this in and doing all this to get SP back, to get that house too. That is the end goal. That is the byproduct, the result of you having shifted state to a place of believing you have that desire, or believing beyond a shadow of a doubt that that is my end goal. That is my future. That's what I've got to look forward to. It is inevitable. And he managed to switch it around. He was debilitated by depression after the breakup, which a lot of us go through. If it's a relationship, especially a long-term relationship, and you're really close to your partner, or even if it wasn't, that person made a really big impact on your life. And of course, it is important to mourn the breakup. We made sure that the focus went on his mental well-being, just being able to pick up the pieces of his broken heart, put his life together again, reshape himself. Okay, SP is one of the goals that you're looking for. You're looking for that loving, committed relationship with that specific person. What else are we going to focus on? He wanted to progress his career. He wanted to move. He wanted various other things as well that he had mentioned in the email, but he had other goals too. And that's what I like to do with my clients. We focus on other goals. We've got other desires as well. This is all part of shaping your self-concept. And it just so happened for him that when he was getting his life back in order, discovering who he was, this new version of him wanted to socialize more, wanted to play football, wanted to do stuff that was just about him, wanted to be financially abundant. His new job and promotion really helped that. And so he felt great. It built up his self-confidence, his self-worth. And so when SP came back, he was excited, but also expectant of it as well, and didn't jump back into old habits of behavior of getting angsty. There's this distance. What if she goes back to the third? What if it all breaks down? You know, he knew his self-worth. He had achieved so much, and she was really impressed to see the changes in him. And I remember him just reiterating all this stuff to me. He was so excited and felt so accomplished, but also knew his value as a person. And for a lot of us, our value is dependent on the SP. It's getting them back is going to make me feel good, going to make raise my self-esteem, my self-worth. But if you can find a way of giving that gift to yourself, and that's what it's about when whatever you're manifesting, you are giving the gift to yourself right here, right now, in real time, feeling it, feeling that wish fulfilled, feeling yourself to be that person that has that desire, capturing that mood. And as he did, he would go to bed each night capturing the mood that she was in bed with him, that they were in this loving, committed relationship, that he would see pictures around the house. He would see certain things in his home that suggested that they were already living together. And so only recently now she has moved in. The bridge is still unfolding, but it is going perfectly. There have always been bumps in the ride. He did message me a couple of times here and there where he was starting to sink and waver. It's okay. It's very rare, actually, that I get success stories whereby it's like, it's smooth sailing and we come back together and it's this fairy tale relationship and everything is wonderful. Sometimes there's still a few obstacles in the way. Sometimes it takes a bit of time for SP to fully conform. Sometimes we fall back into the old state. We've still got that core being within us. It's not going to be possible to turn things around completely and you just be a completely different person to what you were within a few months or within a year. It takes progress, it takes time, disciplining of your mind regularly, but you can absolutely turn everything around, as he has done, as many of my clients have done, as you will too, as you already are doing too, because a lot of you don't appreciate or realize even how far you have come on this journey, how much you have achieved. We're too busy focusing on the things that are missing. Well, SP hasn't come back, so I'm a failure. No, how about start appreciating the other things that have been coming into your life now? That's part of the preparation for SP and the money and everything else to start flooding into your life as well. So keep hold of that. I really hope that this helped to inspire you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm sending you all the love in the world, and I'll see you in the next video.